Hi, friendos. Hope you're all doing well, taking care of yourselves, feeling awesome, or as awesome as you can possibly be. Mikey Bly here, and just wanted to do a quick little video about Disability Pride Month, which is this very month that we're in right now, the month of July. It's been celebrated in the US since 1990, when the Americans with Disability Act came into play. But since then, it's grown, it's expanded. A whole bunch of other countries around the world also do recognize and uh, celebrate Disability Pride Month nowadays. So I just wanted to have a little bit of a chat about it and kind of raise awareness about the whole thing. It's an important thing to me, um, as someone who falls within one of the wonderful stripes on the flag. And just because it's a super important month, because but personally I feel like disabilities are not education on disabilities is very thin on the ground. It's not something that, like, I barely any nothing in school really, um, and there's not really much out there unless you really seek it out. And I guess I'm kind of adding to that because I guess people will have to seek this out, I suppose. I'm not getting super deep into the whole thing. I just wanted to recognize it myself as well. It is it's a month to celebrate persons who experience disability, their identities and culture, and their contributions to society. And it's to uplift. It's to challenge stigmas. It's a good opportunity to go out there and do some self-directed learning about disabilities as well. And with with many things in the world right now, misinformation is rife. Um, Things are getting rolled back. People are losing out, and that's why, as with Pride Month in June, Disability Pride Month, I feel is super duper important this year, like more so than like any other year. Let's have a quick dive into the flag itself before we get to talking about some of my own personal things. But here's the flag. Here's the flag. One day I will point and it will be the right direction straight away, and I'll actually get it right. But yes, every aspect of this flag does mean something specific. So we'll go through those. So the green stripe references persons with sensory disabilities. The blue stripe is emotional and psychiatric disabilities. The white stripe is invisible and undiagnosed disabilities. That's my stripe. The gold stripe is neurodiversity. The red stripe is physical disabilities. And the actual background itself, the charcoal color in the background, is mourning for ableist violence, victims of abuse, negligence, and all of the lives lost, and challenges still faced by people who fall anywhere within any of these stripes. So mine is invisible undiagnosed. It's like kind of leaning into emotional and psychiatric disabilities as well. I do suffer from depression, and it's one of those things. And the common thing you hear super often is, it's like we don't look depressed. Yeah, that you can really stick a face on depression apparently, and apparently that's not mine. But here's the thing, and I used to talk about my depression pretty often when I first got the diagnosis, and that was back in, oh my word, 2015. Yeah, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. And yeah, that was roughly when I started doing YouTube videos as well, funnily enough. And I used to talk about my depression, and I was like, this is a good, I want to candidly talk about it. I kind of joking around with it too. And it's like, I always try and put positive spins on things. I try my best. There are definitely some days where there's just nothing, right? I'm just a void. I can't. The energy is zero. The mental capacity to cope with anything is completely zero, and it's just I write it. And this is the thing: those kind of days, I wake up and I write the entire day off. I just say, nope, nothing's gonna snap me out of this today. That's just it for now. And it's so weird because yesterday I was getting geared up for getting this video ready to go. Well, I mean, I was like gonna be recording it, and just thinking about recording it for some reason just knocked me for six. And last night I did nothing. I did nothing. Once I'd finished work, I went upstairs, I flopped on the couch, and I did not move from the couch for the rest of the night. I know for some people will be just like, well, that's just my every night. This was different. This was completely different. I just did not have the capacity for anything whatsoever. But today I've tried to make up for it. And this is the thing, I have my peaks and troughs and my ups and downs with this stuff. I just want that. Yesterday evening was just gone. I knew it was gone. I'd lost the even. Not that I knew. I probably could have done something else with myself, but I was just, nope. This is it. This is the end of the day. I'm not getting anything else done. And then today I came up and I was like, I've been trying to make up for that. I've cleaned around in the house. I've done this. I've done that. I've got lots of other things in my head I want to do this afternoon. So I come back from a down day and I feel guilty about not doing anything. So then I have to do everything. It's such an interesting mind space to be in. But really, my depression's come to the forefront again recently because, like, the things like late last year and early this year, for some reason, I took a really bad nosedive, and it's been the first time in a long time that I've gone that far down. I think I'm getting over the hump a bit now, but I still have a lot of days where it's just everything is too much and everything feels super heavy, and like my own body feels super heavy, and I'm like, I can't carry myself anymore. But I try. I get through the days, but this is why, and I'm just going to put this out there. You see me on social media, on YouTube. I always try and exert as much positive energy as I can out there because I'm like, I might be feeling absolutely horrible, but that doesn't mean that everybody else should. And that's why I'm always like super enthusiastic, and I'm like, oh, the super. I try and just like, I try and boost everybody's day by being super positive and enthusiastic and uplifting about whatever they're doing. So sometimes I worry that people see that and think, the toxic positivity aspect, right? That's the thing, or that like I'm just being like, like I'm not being genuine. I honestly am. I love seeing other people be successful and do good things and do amazing things, and it helps me because it boosts me. I'm like, okay, this is a positive thing. I've got to take this and add it to my day as a source of positivity. This person did such a good job with this. I could talk about this kind of up and down and all when my brain goes all the time. I could go up down all the time with this stuff. But yeah, the depression is the depression is where I fall in the disability pride flag. Could be an undiagnosed one in there somewhere as well. I've never been properly like, I've never gone through the tests for the ADHD or anxiety, and I possibly there's potentially that there too. It's never been looked into. I've never really thought about looking into it. Maybe one day I will, but for now, mine's all brain stuff. But the funny thing is about depression is it can lead to the physical aspect of things too if it gets too far. So, like, I've definitely had periods where I've lost a lot of weight, put a lot of weight on. Um, there's the lack of energy can lead to the lack of motivation, which means that physically you just feel like you can't do anything because of being so emotionally drained. Those days definitely happen as well. So like that's a lot of where I fall. But really, I just encourage you all to take this month to just spend a bit of time reading up on maybe something that you didn't know much about. Maybe look into things like autism, ADHD, anxiety. I know I'm focusing on the mental health ones. Physical disabilities are obviously a very real thing, and they're a big part of the Disability Pride Month factors as well, because there's still so many places that are inaccessible to physically disabled people. It's like I look around the city I live in, there is an accessibility plan in place. I believe the plan was to have every single like government building or like building the public needs access to be accessible by 2030, I believe was the plan. They've already written that off basically and says we're probably not going to achieve that. And it's just like that's 5 more whole years, and it's already been so many years already where there's been a lack of accessibility, and it's just there's just throw another 5 years on there. How many more? How many more people are not going to get the chance to go to places easily because of this plan not being put in place when they said it would? But it's like it's a whole massive like spectrum of things. But it's a good chance to, like I said, do some reading or do some checking in on things. The could be things you're interested in and more about, but definitely take some time. I'm also going to take some time this month. I am by far nowhere near an expert on any of this stuff. I want to talk about my own personal experiences mostly, and try and encourage people to look into things. Yourself. I'll pop some links in the description. 100%. By the way, I'm going to put some Disability Pride Month information pages in there. I'm also going to link to a few people who are very open about their disabilities, and like promote mental health and mental wellness. I'll go through them actually. There's Lady Amalthea, super super wonderful streamer, and she is just awesome. Talks about lots of mental wellness stuff. Very very cool person. Definitely check them out. Then there's Ghostline, who talks about not all the time, but is very open about their mental wellness and their chronic illness as well. Definitely worth checking out. Also, head of well, one of the people creators of the Fruities Twitch team, who I'm part of. Then there's Real Rascally Grandpa as well, who faces a lot of issues with chronic illness, and they are very open about talking about that on their streams as well. And finally, there's Otterly Noah, fantastic YouTuber who does like deep dives into a lot of like media stuff. Talks about movies, talks about TV shows, but from like from through an through an autistic lens, a lens of autism. Um, so it's like talking about like autism representation in media and things like that. Very interesting, very cool content. All four of those people are fantastic. Definitely would recommend checking them out if you get the chance to. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Disability Pride Month isn't something that we should just breeze on through. It's definitely a good chance for some self-education, some self-reflection too. I mean, if you fall anywhere in this flag as well, but maybe you don't think about it too much. I mean, if you don't want to, that's also fine, obviously. But if it's something you maybe haven't thought about for a while and might want to have a little bit of a think, it's a good chance to have a little bit of self-reflection time. That's what I did the last few days. Actually, that's what happened with me. It's like I haven't really thought about my depression for quite a while. It's always there. It's always lingering. There's always something just in the back of my brain waiting to make everything terrible for the day. I just try and sit on it as best I can most of the time. But the last couple of days, it really popped into my head, and I was like, I haven't talked about my depression for quite a while, so I guess in a way, I just wanted to have a bit of a rant, I suppose. So thanks for bearing with me on that, and I do hope you take some information away here from like the links I provide, or just what I've waffled about. Where did this? I've waffled for 15 minutes about nothing. Honestly, I didn't even anticipate being this long, but this is where we are, and that's how it happened. But I'm not going to go on and on and on. It's just something I wanted to make sure you were aware of. This is a month that is here, and you know, disabled people are all around you. You wouldn't know a lot of the time because so many of us just doesn't even look like it, right? But bear that in mind as you go through your day to day. And yeah, maybe check out the links I pop in the description there. Check out the people I talked about. They're all fantastic. And have yourself a awesome rest of your day. Awesome rest of Disability Pride Month. Um, and yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video that I put up. I've got to cut myself off because if I don't, I'm just going to keep going for like 2 hours, and I don't want to do that. I've got to cut and run while I've got a good chance to do so. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Love and appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Bye.